Okay, so I think the box has been around for several years. So this is a talk about the race box, how you take times, and a little bit on how you run the races. It used to be that we used to sit there and watch the minute hand, the big clock come up, and then start a couple of stopwatches and count things down. And then people would stop the stopwatch instead of pausing it, and we decided to come up with a solution. As far as I know, it's the only club that I've come across that has this. I've been requested several times to build another one, which I've declined. Although I've kind of considered making another one at some stage, but this one was quite a fiddle to make. So the idea behind it was to make life easy for the people in the OOD. This is the end result that we want. I don't know if you can see it, you don't have to concentrate on it too much, but these are the race sheets that we fill out. We try to time every lap that goes round. I'll reiterate this at the end. If we do a start, we've got say a beat up to what will be the end finish line, even though it's going to be quite difficult because you've got a lot of boats crossing very quickly, it's very important that you get that first time across because of the type of handicapping system that we use. So even if it's like 1 minute into the race, the first round is really important that you get that. Once the first round is through, then boats tend to spread out and it becomes easier. The first thing you want to do is switch it on. So that's the switch. It has recently, especially on really cold days, not started, and it just comes up with a few strange things on the screen. Just switch it off, switch it on again. You won't harm this bit of equipment by switching it on and off. It's not like a computer which, you know, ding, 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 bang. You can do it as much as you want, but eventually it will kick in. It happens like once, twice, sort of a year, but it has confused people. So this is the box. We have, quite often we'll start late, and so we'll have the postponement flag up. So when you want to start the race or start the procedure, you'll be pressing the 6-minute button. Just press it once, and you want to count down to the rescue boat to say, all right, you ready to start the race? Postponement flag is up. Okay, in 10 seconds, first horn. You press the 6-minute button, and this countdown here will start counting down from 6 minutes, and it will warn you whenever you need to do something else. So it will give you a 30-second warning, and then a 15-second warning, and then the last 10 seconds before the next beep comes up, or before the horn comes up rather, it will count you down. I've got a little video of that in a minute. So to begin with, on the race, these are the only 2 buttons you need to worry about. So if the postponement flag is up, it's a 6-minute, and then it's a 5-minute if you're sort of in between races or we're starting on time. The other thing to make sure, before you start, you can see this switch up here is currently in the off position. So that means whenever the horn or the race control box, whatever you want to call it, wants to make a noise, if that button is off, the horn out there won't go off. So if you want to try it out and play around with it, which you're obviously always welcome to do, just switch that off, and then all the beeps and everything will be just inside the box. Okay. If for some reason it goes wrong, or you want to postpone a race, or we're here and we've decided we're going to cancel the race, if you press the horn override button, I think irrespective of what position that button is in, it will toot the horn. So if you want to do 2 hoots for a postponement to let everybody know, you can just press it. So it's just like a 1-to-1. Whilst you're actually, so we've started the race now. In fact, it's a little bit out of order. Yeah, ignore that one for now. So we've got the big clock up there. Most of the time, it's pretty accurate. It's a radio connected clock, and just as like a backup, just wait until the minute hand comes up to the top. Also, if anybody else's watch is set up to GMT, then they'll have a rough idea of what's going on. So watch comes up 5 or 6 minutes. As soon as you press it, so I press the 5-minute button there, you start seeing the countdown. So we've got, and yeah, it will count down. So we're going to have, if we started on 6, there'd be 1 horn as soon as you press the button, come through, a 30-second warning, 15-second warning, and then it'll go 10, 9, 8, blah, blah, blah. And it will automatically blast the horn. The thing is, the rescue boat won't know that. So you want to warn the rescue boat of when the horns are coming through. Sometimes if you've got a really efficient crew out there, they'll say it's fine, we've got our own watch out here, and they'll request that you don't, because there's quite a lot of chatter over the radio. So the less we can do, but then it is our right to call out and announce what the race times are. Now we're coming up to the start. I think this is actually a video. Yeah, so this is just before the start of the race. This is it counting you down. So you'll be going over the rescue boat now. 3, 2, 1, and off you go. And now you see it starts counting up. Okay. By the way, if anybody's got any questions anywhere in between, just holler. So the boats are coming around and they're going to do their first either part lap or after that complete laps. As you can see, my finger's on the lap button. So whenever you press the button, it will come up with a time and it will print the time out. Now, you may not have noticed there, I pressed, let's go back. I pressed the button several times. It will actually record every time that you press the button, and then the printer will catch up. So, no, we can't go back. But if you see, I don't know if you can make out the times that are coming out on the board. Well, okay, it shows it there. But it will record up to 1/10 of a second. Now, when you record times, round it up or down. Just do it to the closest second. But when you're trying to remember which person to put in and who went next, that's why I've put the 1/10 of a seconds in there. So these are just lap times. Now, when they're finishing, flip the button up, and now we're on the green button, and you hear that boot? So that's also tooting the main horn as well then. It also puts a little star on the side. So when you're trying to fill it out later, and I advise that you do that. So as the boat crosses, press the button, try and remember the order that people went in, especially for the finishing. But don't worry too much about that. The important thing is getting the time right. And then you go back in and fill them in. And here we go. So just fill in the times afterwards. It's like a little ledge made there, so you can specifically use your time to write it down. I originally designed it with a reset button, thinking if the start of the race has been screwed up or something like that, and you need to press it again or need to reset, until my crew, who's not here tonight, in the middle of the race went, "Oh, what's this button for?" And immediately got smacked. So the procedure now, as you can see, the reset button does nothing because I disconnected it. But if you should need to restart it, switch it off and switch it back on again. And the machine's ready to go again. All right. So eventually we'll put a little sticker over there or something to get rid of it. That is literally it. That simple.